Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be doing my modeling question and answers video, which I told you guys I would be doing after my modeling portfolio video that I just put up. I will put the link to that in the bottom bar if you haven't seen that. But today I'm just going to be answering your guys' questions that you've been asking me. I've been getting lots of personal messages asking, am I tall enough? What are the requirements? What kind of modeling is there? And I'm going to try to answer these to the best of my ability, and I'm not like a professional, I don't know everything about modeling, but I have been in this industry for a pretty long time. And I think I've got a pretty good idea of how everything works and how much you get paid and what kind of models are there, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into the questions. The first question is, how tall do you have to be to model? And lots of people have this idea where all the models have to be super tall, but that's actually not true. There's lots of different types of models, which is actually the second question. But with height, it depends what kind of model you are and what kind of area you want to be in. The toughest area to get into is high fashion and runway, and the reason why I'm saying that is because the height issue when it comes to like editorial, high fashion, and runway, which is what you typically think when you're thinking about models, but that is the toughest because they are very strict about your measurements. Like, you have to be a certain measurement to get into runway shows, and you have to be certain heights. Like, the heights I know usually range from 5'9.5" to 6 feet, 5'9.5" being the shortest and 6 feet being the max. And I am exactly 6 feet, like exactly, but I usually write down 5'11.5" just so they don't freak out. But usually people will usually tamper with their heights. And another reason why you see all these models in the high fashion and runway part of this industry, they're usually really skinny. They do have really strict measurements that they want you to follow. And I'm sorry if I'm playing with my hair, it's like falling. But usually they'll want a 32, 33 bust, and then on your waist they'll want a 23 or a 24, and then on your hips they're gonna ask for a 34 or a 33. So that's using inches, and that is pretty tough to get. So right now I have 33, 24, 35. Those are my measurements. That's my natural body, but I have to maintain it. I have to work out. I have to make sure I'm eating right to maintain that. And when I recently went to New York, someone was telling me I had to lose an inch from my hips, or that I had to lose 10 pounds. I'm like, I am not losing 10 pounds. That is crazy talk, because I would look scary if I lost 10 pounds. So the hardest one to get into is definitely high fashion and runway, which is the area that I'm trying to get into. But they're basically asking for girls that are probably around like 5'9"-ish to about 6 feet. So anywhere within that range, that's perfect, but below that, they're not probably going to accept you. So the next thing you guys want to know is, what kind of models are there? And I summarize like the top categories of the modeling industry. So first is the one that people think of usually most commonly, which is the high fashion editorial style. This is like stuff you would find in Vogue or some high fashion magazine. That's again where you need to be like the tall, skinny, the toughest one to get into in my opinion. And then there's commercial fashion, which is like Victoria's Secret. I just have some photos from like their swimsuit part of their website. But that is basically just kind of the same thing as high fashion. You still need to be like tall and thin, but it's not as tough. Like, they still want curves and everything. They want you to be relatable. But yeah. And then there is commercial, which is like stuff you would find on billboards or catalogs or stuff like that. This is a Target advertisement. This is where you can really range from any height. They're usually asking for like fitness models, where it's like they'll advertise for Nike. It doesn't matter how tall you are, they're gonna want you if you're fit, you know? Because I was in New York and I was talking to this one girl. She's 5'2", which is extremely short for this industry. But she went to a casting call for a advertisement, some Burt's Bees, I think, and she auditioned in front of a room where there were 6-footers and 5'11" girls that were all gorgeous and tall. They came from high fashion, and then she had the best personality, so they chose her. So if you have a good personality, you're going to do really good in the commercial part. And yeah, so commercial, like advertisements, Forever 21, stuff like that. And then the next one, which is kind of like high fashion, is runway. So this is just like high fashion runway you would see on like Fashion Week in New York or Paris or Milan. So yeah. The next question is, what's your diet? And I don't have like a specific diet that I stand by, but recently I have gotten a lot healthier than usual. I have started using whole wheat bread instead of white bread. I've been cutting out all of these like carby foods, and I've been cutting out sweets. I have desserts maybe every couple of days, and I really try to limit everything I have. I've been starting to snack more throughout the day and have less for my 3 meals. So it's going to be less calories, and I work out a lot. I do lots of cardio. When you're a model, you're definitely going to want to stick to cardio instead of sports that build up muscle, like especially in the thighs. You don't want to do sports that will build you up in the thighs. So you don't want to do like squats or any sports where you're going to build up lots of muscle and bulk up, because it's easy to lose fat, but it's not easy to lose muscle. So you're definitely going to want to do some sports that will lean you. I do lots of things like biking and running, and yoga is great for leaning out your arms and legs, and also boxing is really good, which I've really been in love with right now. But yeah, so let me guys know if you want a exercise routine video. I self-train myself. I don't go to a gym or anything. I've just done my research, found workouts that work for me, and they're giving me the results that I need for this industry. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, then just let me know. The next question is, how do you get an agent? And with this, you're basically going to have to do research. Look up local agencies on Google that are in your hometown. But they usually have like casting calls and open calls for different things, so you can just go there, and then if they like you, they will sign you. But my story, I had a local agency, but with me, my local agency was having a summer camp, and when I was 11 years old, I went to that summer camp, and my agent discovered me from there. The next question is, do you need to pay to get an agent? And no, you do not have to pay to have an agent. I know lots of agencies lately sorry about my hair again. Lots of agencies lately I've been seeing are asking models to pay for them to be on their website, pay for modeling classes, which I think is kind of ridiculous, and pay for just being a part of their agency. And first off, you do not need to pay for modeling classes. There are workshops that are taught everywhere. You can just basically learn from other people. You don't have to pay to go to like modeling school classes, because that is honestly a waste of money and you do not need to. But if you want to work on it, then that's okay, you can do it, but I would not waste your money on doing that. If you have an agent that's making you pay to be on their website, I wouldn't go with that agency. They're just trying to take your money. Usually agents will get you to sign a contract saying that they will need a certain percentage out of your pay that you get through modeling. I'm under one of those type of contracts. If you have to pay to be on their website or to be represented by them, that you shouldn't have to do that. How do you book photo shoots? To book photo shoots, you're going to need an agent. There's this website called Model Mayhem, which I will link in the bottom bar, but that is basically where models, I think you have to be about 16 to sign up for that, where you can make a profile, and then photographers in your area can find you, and then they can say if they want to use you in a shoot or book you. But in my case, I get booked through my agent. Photographers usually come to her when they need new models, and so she will message me or some other models saying that they need me for a shoot. I never pay for shoots. If you want to start out modeling, then it's a good idea to maybe pay for a good photographer to take your photos. But once you start getting the hang of it, you shouldn't have to pay for doing photo shoots. I think I've only paid for a photo shoot once, and that was when I was 11 for my very first photo shoot. But other than that, you shouldn't really have to pay for them. People should want you, not your money. If you want to get photos done for fun, then just do them for fun, but I wouldn't waste your money on photo shoots when people would be wanting you. The next question is, how much do you earn as a model? And this question definitely ranges from what kind of industry you want to be a part of. I know that commercial is the easiest to get into, and it earns you a lot of money. If you book a job for commercial, it's going to get you a lot of money. I met a lot of amazing people in New York, and they were telling me their stories, and one was a commercial model, and she was telling me she booked a commercial job for 17, I think, and in one day, for a whole day of shooting, they gave her $10,000. And yeah, they get paid a lot if you get booked the right job. If you're in the high fashion and runway part of this industry, it's going to be tougher to earn money because there's lots of castings and there's lots of girls that are high fashion models and they're going to be competing with you to get this certain job. So it's a lot harder to get money. But if you become a successful high fashion model, then you are going to earn a lot because they're going to be wanting you for Vogue, for different shows, for everything, for different magazines, campaigns. They're going to want to use your face. So if you become a successful high fashion model, then you are going to learn a lot of money. But if you're like just living in New York, going to castings, if you're good, then you'll have enough to survive in New York. You'll have a nice apartment and everything, but you're not going to have enough to, you know, get a mansion. Next question is, what kind of happens at model castings? And at model castings, it's basically where you go to a certain place to get casted for a job. So usually when you go there, there's a lot of other people there. Usually you have to wait your turn. Then they'll call you in to interview you, you know, take your pictures. A lot of times at castings, it usually depends on your face, but again, it is so important to have a good personality. You have to have a bright, fun personality where people are going to want to book you, they're going to remember you. So a good personality and a pretty face is definitely going to book you a job. If you have a pretty face and a dull personality, you're not going to get the job. That's just how it works. So I hope this answers most of your questions about modeling. If you guys have any other questions that I forgot to add in this video, go ahead and leave it in the comments below and I will be sure to get back to you with your question. So I hope you guys enjoyed and thank you for watching.